Will you be able to stay in your own home, or will you move in with your children, or will you move into a retirement community? Are you prepared for long-term care? Tonight, On Call with the Prairie Doc. Thank you for doing it. Good evening and welcome to On Call with the Prairie Doc. We love our homes like a well-worn pair of sneakers. Spending time with our kids is heaven, but the various levels of retirement communities have improved over time. How will we live after we stop working? Lots about that tonight, but first let's take a look at this week's Prairie Doc quiz question. Pick the best answer this week. When living on private funds, the cost of basic care in a long-term care facility, a nursing home, is in the range of $300 a day, $500 a day, $700 a day. Pick the best answer. We will give you the answer at the end of the show. Joining us tonight is a nice balance. I love this balance. Lori Hintz, a registered nurse with the South Dakota Foundation for Medical Care, is here. And Dr. Victoria Walker, who is physician and the chief medical officer with the Good Samaritan Society, is here too. And we have this spread of knowledge that's very important. We're going to talk about how we can help you people with issues about what you do when you need a little more help and you can't stay at home any longer. I'm going to start with this. One of the things that I've heard numerous times, and I'm sure both of you have heard before, is somebody says to me, Doc, you know, if I get to the point where I have to go to a nursing home, shoot me. I don't want to go. Promise me you'll never send me there. I've made my kids promise. Promise me I'll never go there. What's your gut reaction to that? I'll start with you, Lori.
Oh, my gut reaction is, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
It's like, I hear you. But when you've been in nursing homes, there are some really, sometimes it's the only place you can be to get good care. And it's an option. It's a good option for some people.
Yeah, and when you can't do it by yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, I think the thing that's happened now is independence, allowing independence, making that space as close to home as you possibly can. What's your take on that?
You know, I think that you know, nobody really relishes the idea of losing any independence or ability to do things for yourself. But you know, I think that the truth is that you don't always know how you're going to feel in the future, and it's really not fair to paint your kids into a promise that they may not be able to actually keep, and you're just going to make them feel terribly guilty if it gets to a situation where there really is no other option. So a couple things. One, I would say sometimes people actually find moving to a nursing home is a huge
spring of independence.
Well, and actually a socialization. Sometimes it gets very, very lonely if you've been in your home and you're by yourself and you can't get out. And so oftentimes going to the nursing home is a little bit akin to the experience kids have when they go off to college and they're in a dormitory with other people their age, and you know, so there can be a real positive side to it.
Let the party commence, you know?
Yeah.
I have watched this happen where they're at home, the kids happen to be there, they're helping them, the kids are kind of getting burned out, and they finally, you know, I can't do this anymore, Dad, you're going to an assisted living, and you don't have any choice. We're going to do it. We're moving your bed, we're selling the house, or what, we'll hold on to the house, but you know, for now. And they find suddenly they're more independent at the assisted living than they were ever, well, in the last 5 years at home. It's a good thing for many, many people. I think my answer, every kid out there should say to their parents, if they would ever say this to you, and don't say this to your kid, but if you did, the kid should say, you know what, I love you, I will do everything for you to help you, and I promise you I will never betray your trust. I will be there for you and support you however I have to. But don't say, I promise I'll never take you to the nursing home. Wrong answer. Don't say that. So, you know, you just, it's a wonderful place when you need it.
I agree.
So I'm going to jump right into the question about dementia as one of the reasons why we need to have assisted living and nursing homes and dementia care, special dementia care. But before we talk about memory loss, let's talk about music. Music is an important thing for many people. A lot of it's church music. Sometimes it's just Guy Lombardo, you know, or it could be, you know, 60s. What's your take on the value of music as people become older and they are approaching this particular phase of their life?
I'd start on that. Music, we're doing a music and memory program in South Dakota where we have 64 nursing homes that are implementing a formal individualized music program. And the stories that are coming out of there is unbelievable. People that have not fed themselves for a year. They listen to their music before the meal, and all of a sudden they're feeding themselves. The people at the table say, she must be feeling better today. They're moving. When you hear about the 4 o'clock sundowner syndrome, little ladies are looking for their kids getting off the bus for school when somebody has dementia. They put the music on and they settle down. They're calmer. And it can really increase quality of life, quality of care, for all of us actually. But it also helps the caregiver. It gives them another tool in their toolbox to care for that person. It's unbelievable.
I just know that intuitively, you know, I think it's a wonderful program. You're the program for South Dakota Foundation for Medical Care, and you do the QUIN, the quality improvement. So you're looking at the quality of care that's provided in the nursing homes.
One of the things we're working on is to reduce unnecessary use of antipsychotics. And Dr. Walker's been working really hard with me on that as well. And this is one program, one activity that we can do to help decrease the use of
the need of antipsychotics. All right, we'll listen to this now.
Oh, it was a godsend. Mom was she was having issues where she was yelling out, put the headphones on her, and it was like a whole nother person. She was just calm. I laughed. The staff would tell me she'd be sitting there in the commons area, and her little foot would be going, tapping to the music.
Her foot tapped constantly. The first time we tried it, You Are My Sunshine came on. And she broke into that song and she sang the whole song.
I just saw her much more calm.
It made her smile. And that was the best part. It made her smile. And if you can make somebody smile, I think that's the best gift of all. So
that's the Good Samaritan. So you're the Chief Medical Officer of how many Good Samaritan homes throughout the country?
142.
Wow, all over the country. And it's now owned by Sanford.
Yes.
So, and that's been a good thing. So tell me about your take on this music idea, Vicki.
Well, I got goosebumps when Lori was talking and when I watched that video because I think that music, as you alluded to, it's important in all of our lives. It adds quality to all of our lives, and we don't lose that just because we get older. And in fact, music gets processed in a part of our brain that isn't, the part that's impacted by dementia as much. And so it really allows people to connect to the emotions that music generates, and most of those are positive emotions. And so it's really amazing what that does for quality of life. One of the things I'm really excited about at Good Samaritan is we've been able to partner with Brown University, which is a university that specializes in research in nursing homes out in Rhode Island. And we have been partnering with them to figure out the best way to implement this program and sustain it over time. And so that's been wonderful to do on top of the support from the QIO, is to be able to work with other nursing homes across the country with Brown University,
right,
so that we can get this to be practical to get it out for everyone.
Now, is the foundation trying to bring this to all the states, or is it just South Dakota that's getting this music thing?
All the states can do music in memory. There's a national music in memory organization. South Dakota Foundation for Medical Care is working to get the remaining 42 nursing homes that do not have it in their homes. We have an application, a grant application in now to try to get that in 100% of our nursing homes.
We'd sure encourage any in the audience to say to your local nursing home, how about doing that? Talk to the Foundation for Medical Care.
Yep.
I remember a video I saw, you know, as a director of a choir that sings to people in the nursing home oftentimes, that here was a 95-year-old profoundly demented woman who hadn't spoken a word in 2 years, and someone was there and she started singing some simple old song. I mean, Mary Had a Little Lamb, or it was Christmas, you know, some, you know, Jingle Bells or something. And she started singing with her. I mean, you've seen that video.
Yep.
I mean, it just blows you away. It brings apart, you know, there's something about music and the spirit or the soul of an individual that is undefinable.
I think it helps family members when they're visiting their nursing home loved one. Gives them something to do with their family member, and because sometimes the visits are are hard.
Yeah.
What do we do? And you can sit with your speakers on and enjoy the music together, and they'll see a response maybe that their loved one hadn't given for a long time. It might be fleeting, but think how special that visit would be.
That's really good. Well, and then I'm going to move from music to dance and movement and exercise, because that's part and parcel about the quality of what can happen in a nursing home that doesn't happen when you're at home sitting in front of the boob tube going, okay, my day is, okay, a lot of, you know, Food Network and, and you know, Jeopardy, and then I'm go back to bed and someone brings me food, and instead you have a life where you're involved. So what are they doing with dance, or what's going on there?
Well, I think that just staying active, whether you're at home or in the nursing home or assisted living, I think is really important. And so in the nursing home, you know, they do have aids, restorative aids, that will work specifically to help people maintain their ability to walk. And you know, we have balance programs that have been really successful at helping people improve their balance and feel more stable and confident getting up and walking. You know, that's one of the challenges, is you kind of start to get afraid of falling, so then you don't get up and move as much, and then you become less able to get up and move. And yeah, and so having a you know, supervised program to practice and to get stronger and better can really make a big difference. And we can, you know, see people being able to get up and do things that they thought they were never going to be able to do again.
You know, mobility. You know, as a geriatrician, no question, people who come into that age of their life, if they've been active all their life, they get that 1 mile to 2 miles of walk a day, they stay mobile, they're able to be mobile, they're strong enough, they don't fall, they've got their balance, and if they haven't been there, they can restore some of that by exercise within the nursing home, or within the, how do I say it? I say nursing home, but it should be long-term care.
You could say long-term care, you could say skilled nursing facility. I think that, you know, probably what people recognize is nursing
important.
home. But
yeah.
Okay. We have a little video I want to show you guys.
Lori and I love to dance. We would dance whenever we had a chance. In Arizona, we used to have dances a couple times a month, and we'd always make sure that we made that. We didn't do ballroom dancing, but we did waltzes, polkas, two-steps, and so forth. And in Arizona in the wintertime, there were very great bands that came down there just for the winter, so we danced to some pretty good music. And without it, I don't think I would even try dancing today.
Well, I really want to thank Good Samaritan Foundation for bringing us those videos. We have one more we'll show a little bit later. Thank you for doing that. And, you know, it makes me think about, here we are in the DeSmet gymnasium, and there's a sock hop after the football game. And the girls are all on the one side, the bleachers on the east side, and the boys are on the bleachers on the west side, and we're all staring at each other. And how can you go out there and expose yourself to how bad you dance, you know? But I love the fact that, you know, wouldn't it be great? I know of one woman who lived with a very, very bad heart until just about 90, and she did it because she danced. She danced. She stayed active, and dancing was part of it. And the music was part of it as well. Well, any other comments? We're going to move on to dementia. I want to talk a little bit about different kinds of dementia. There are different kinds. The majority of them are Alzheimer's, and the next, you know, 50, 60% are Alzheimer's, and probably the 35% of them are strokes, vascular disease, and then there's this tiny little bit of other weird things. Dr. Walker, tell me your comments about dementia and what you think's happening, and is there a future, and where's the hope on this? This is a tough topic.
Dementia it's hard because it's not something that gets better over time. It generally is progressive. Less so with vascular dementia, oftentimes than Alzheimer's or the other rarer types of dementia that tend to be more rapidly progressive. But it's, you know, it's just hard. It's hard to watch somebody that you love lose their ability to remember and to recognize people that they care about. And there's nothing that really makes that easy. And so, you know, I think that if you or somebody that you love is diagnosed with dementia, I think that probably one of the best things that you can do is really to sit down and have conversations about understanding at a really deep level what's most important to them and how they want to be cared for when they can't tell you anymore.
The advance directive.
Yes.
We should talk about advance directive right now. Yeah. Any other comment about dementia?
No, I think you just have to meet that person where they are. It's more about emotions. Mm-hmm. And one thing I always remember is, you know, if one approach doesn't work, you know, they're not going to remember. You can try it again. You get a second and third and fourth chance.
Yeah, keep making new friends, you know. Yep. That old story. Well, I think about the fact that the last thing usually is gone is the distant memory. Yeah. So when you come in to visit your relative that has lost a lot of it, learn a new thing, can't learn a new thing. You know, remember it's time we're going to be done in a half an hour, you know, half an hour's up, didn't catch it. Couldn't learn a new thing. But she can talk about the sock hop and DeSmet, you know, and how the girls all lined up and the guys were, you know, you can remember those old memories for a very long time as the dementia goes. Talk about that. Yeah. You know, go there. And I think also this is a deal. We all live X amount of time. Sometimes it's this, sometimes it's this, sometimes it's this. But let's hope for here. But sometimes that part needs a little help. Mm-hmm. And let's not mourn about it. Let's spend the time talking about this part of it. All this good stuff that happened. All of the wonderful things that might have happened in a person's life.
I think that something that really to remember when you're visiting somebody that has dementia is that it's not intentional, that they are not, that's not that they're not listening to you, they just don't have the ability to remember. And so when they keep asking the same question, it doesn't really help to respond and say, I just told you that. Yes. Because that, they're going to respond probably just like I would respond if somebody said that to me, which is I'd be kind of hurt and a little offended to be spoken to that way. So even if it is frustrating to you that you've been asked the same question multiple times, I think it's really important to just remember that they don't know they've asked it multiple times, and to really try your very best to be patient and just kind, and remember that the more that you can give them moments of joy in your interactions, that's the best gift you can give them.
My father-in-law, a wonderful man, a very wise man. At the end of his life, he had memory loss, and so he would tell the same old joke. Yeah. I laughed as hard as I could every time. Yeah, and there is joy in it. There is joy in just the telling of a joke.
There's a book by Jolene Brackley, and it's called Moments of Joy. I don't know if I can say that on here.
But, sure. By Jolene Brackley, called Moments of Joy.
And it is absolutely wonderful, whether you are a caregiver, in the nursing home, at home, your friend. It gives lots of examples, and it's absolutely wonderful. I recommend it.
Okay. We've got something more for you right now. Forgive me. Assisted living covers multiple levels of need, physical as well as emotional.
The difference probably between the nursing home and the assisted living would be in a nursing home, an individual's health is going to require more skilled nursing or more help with their mobility. So when a person has maybe severe CHF or there are so many diseases out there that just require more skilled nursing, that's when we need to look at that nursing home placement versus assisted living. But in an assisted living, we still provide help with their ADLs. We're still going to help them with their bathing and their dressing and their grooming, med administration, meal prep, those type of things. And we do deal with the early cognitive, so people can have that short-term memory loss and still function very well in an assisted living. And we have a lot of similarities. I mean, our main concern and our main purpose, of course, is to provide a safe, healthy home for our residents. It's just sad to see the facilities that are closing across the state because of not being able to keep their doors open because of the Medicaid reimbursement. They're not able to make their monthly bills. They're not able to pay their staffing. And also with Medicaid, just because a facility accepts Medicaid doesn't necessarily mean that if you go there, they're going to have a bed available for you either. We struggle right now here in the Brookings community with having beds available in our nursing homes and them having the staffing to be able to provide that care. Is there food in the refrigerator? Is it outdated? Watch their medication bottles. Does it look, from when the day it was filled until you're looking at it, does it look like the right amount of meds have been taken? Are they clean? Are they wearing the same clothes you saw them wear 3-4 days ago? Those are all signs that probably they need some more care. And a lot of that does change so much. As I said, socialization to me is probably the most important thing that we can provide. God didn't make us to be by ourselves. He made us to be around other people, and so it's important. It's seeing my residents and seeing that happy face and having them smile and having them be happy. I think that's, I just feel like this is where God put me, and this is what I was meant to be, is caring for these people and providing not only them security, but their family security so that families know that they're well taken care of. they're in a structured environment. They're getting their meals, they're getting their meds, they're getting socialization, and that is so important. And so normally within 90 days, I always tell family, you should see an improvement. You know, you should see them all of a sudden go from, well, I really would rather be in my home, to where this does feel like home, and I am happy here.
Thank you, Peggy, for that. You know, assisted living, you know, it used to be there was only nursing homes. There was only, you know, and I remember Dr. Wake, my doctor, and who's now retired, said to me, as he admitted somebody from the emergency room that I think I had started and he finished, and it was his patient. He said, well, I'm just going to keep her in the hospital for a week or two maybe. She just needs something more, and maybe we can keep her from having to go to the nursing home. We don't have the right to do that anymore. We can't keep them in the hospital long. We have no choice. It's just driven by rules and regulations, which I can't say I'm really happy about. Anyway, let's talk assisted living. One of the things that happens in an assisted living is they make a big effort to try to keep people exercising. What's your take on that, Vicki?
Well, I think that in assisted living, you know, people are more in an apartment-like environment, and so there's definitely, you know, plenty of opportunity for them to be up and moving around in their apartment and out into common spaces. And there's typically a common space available for activities, and so oftentimes there's actually a dedicated gymnasium in that space. So it's, you know, it's a great place to take part in all sorts of different exercise programs. And so I've, you know, seen exercise programs where they, you know, there's dance, balance, Tai Chi, you know, just all sorts of different fun activities, in addition to, you know, things that are more gymnasium-like, like exercise bike or that kind of thing.
Right.
But I think a lot of people at any age find that they do better exercising with other people. It just kind of keeps them motivated. It's a social activity then, and I think the assisted living is an environment where, you know, it really works well to do that.
I was involved with a research project where we took walkers compared to people doing this German exercise of balancing, hopping, strengthening, stretching, and our studies showed that the people who did the German exercise were a little bit better than the walkers. The walkers were so much better than the people who were couch potatoes. And so the value of exercise is so important, isn't it? Mm-hmm. You know, any comment about exercise before we move on, Lori?
No, I think you hit it. It's just important for us to live longer, feel better,
and to be able
relieve stress,
and prevent falls.
Yes.
What is harder on our elderly population than falls? I mean, isn't that probably the worst scenario? Let's talk about falls. You've studied it through our quality improvement network.
That's an area that we definitely could improve upon in our nursing home environment, probably other environments as well, but when you consider the quality measures, we rank pretty high.
In South Dakota?
Yeah, against the national standards.
So we have more falls here.
Yeah, in the nursing home environment we do. South Dakota has a little higher than
the national average.
Yeah, yeah.
And how can we prevent falls? I mean, that's the deal. Now, we just spent all this time, and we said it twice, that exercise and mobility and dancing and all those things help us prevent falls. But there's more to it. I mean, there's a time when they can't dance, they can't exercise. They're basically bedridden almost. What modalities can we do to prevent falls?
Well, you know, I think, you know, first of all, I'd say that falls are probably one of the more common reasons that people end up going to a nursing home to begin with, because so frequently somebody's having falls in their home, and one of those eventually leads to a serious injury, and then you know, they decide they need some rehab, and they may or may not be strong enough to go back home after that. So, you know, I think that it's a good thing to be thinking about preparing for when you're at home, but it's also once we get to a nursing home, it's something that the staff is very much focused, as well as the person and their family, on keeping people from falling.
Right.
The balance, though, no pun intended,
yeah.
is that you know, probably you could say one of the best ways not to fall is to just, you know, never get up.
Yeah, just sit there on the couch.
And that's not much of a quality of life either. Nobody wants to be completely stuck in a bed or a wheelchair at all times. That's not good. So, you know, we do things like make sure that when we're helping people transfer from the bed to the bathroom or for the bath, that we use equipment to help do that safely and to prevent falls.
And you don't prevent back trouble from
for the staff.
The staff people too.
Another thing that we've been really working on is to make sure that we are what we call like proactively rounding on people. Basically going around and checking in on people at regular intervals to ask if there's anything that they need. Before they would need to use a call light and
to get to the bathroom and push the button and then wait and wait and wait, and I gotta go to the bathroom, and then off you go.
Right, and I know, you know, when you have to go to the bathroom, you gotta go.
You gotta go.
Gotta go now.
And you know what, it's more urgent as you get older.
Right.
I should tell you that as an older guy. I don't need to get into that.
Or maybe they were just reaching for their water or their TV remote or what have you, and you can anticipate their needs by doing that hourly rounding. Or
There's a lot written about how to prevent falls at home, and that's one of the tools that we use in the hospital when you have a person there. You have it's not peach, it's rehab. Which modality you get to come and look at their home? Oh, it's occupational therapy.
Yeah.
So occupational therapy goes into your home, and they go, you need a bar next to your bathroom, your commode. You need a bar in the shower. You've got all these loose rugs in the hallway. When the lights go out, it's dark as sin in here. You've got to have night lights, which are easy to fix. You don't walk, those nice, beautiful, wonderful, you know, knit socks that you're walking around are, you know, nice and warm, but they slip like crazy. You can fall on those. You need to have moccasin based or some better shoes or something to get to the bathroom. Any other thing?
Yeah, you made me think of something. Like even the bathroom, the toilet. Sometimes in nursing homes they're black, or they're white, and they should be a different color, because everything kind of blends together. Then your vision is not as well.
So you need to kind of, that's interesting.
Like a
contrasting
go in and color, so they know. But on the same thing, if you have dementia, what I've heard is that then they think it's like a black hole too. Yeah. You know, so.
You don't want to spray paint your commode red, probably. Not a good idea.
But you know, the contrasting color, we have to think about vision and.
Well, and then people have extension cords all over the place, and they trip on those. You know, it's just occupational therapy is a wonderful resource, and you don't have to be in the hospital to consult them. And it's well worth it if you save one hip. You know, or any fall. Now, if a person falls and they break a hip and they go to the hospital, what's the percentage that they go to the nursing home, and what is the percentage that they never get out? Do you know what those numbers are?
I'll bet it's high.
It's 30 to 50%. And so, huge. Yeah. So if you can take a little time, if you're the care provider and you're looking after your elderly parents, go through the house, you know. Maybe spend a little money and make a walk-in shower for them. Spend a little money and put up the bars. Consult occupational therapy. I mean, I'm seeing
I just thought of another tip to avoid falls is if you go to the nursing home and if you put that bedside stand on the side that you did when you were at home.
Yeah.
It helps prevent falls because they were always used to that on that side.
Yeah.
Instead of on the other side.
That's an important.
Yeah, I just thought of that when you said that.
All right. Okay, so we have a little something here for you. Local small town facilities offer unique advantages. Unfortunately, they also face their own obstacles.
I think it would be very devastating. I mean, we employ quite a few people, and like I said, it's the local residents that would really suffer from that. We have kind of a small town community type environment here, and they know a lot of the other residents and in the facility, and also the community is very supportive of our facility. Other facilities in nearby towns are just too far. If a family member wants to come and visit and they're unable to drive, it works much better if they can come locally to our nursing home. I think the community involvement and enhancement in our community, like I said, is very involved, but that's kind of what it takes. Staffing is always an issue in the small town that we have, to compete with all the factories and fast food places and things in the surrounding towns. So trying to find help is always, an issue. We do training here. If someone wants to be a nursing assistant, they can actually work at our facility after they've had their initial training, and then they have 4 months to become certified. And we do training in-house, so they can do that. It is a very physical job for the certified nursing assistants and the nurses, because the nurses always help out too as needed. But yes, they have a very hard job. And we have all different kinds of residents with different issues and reasons why they are at the facility. So, getting everybody coordinated and working together is very important. Between the healthcare rules, the federal government, and insurance companies, we want to have the residents have the best quality care and at the minimum price. So it's always kind of a debate as to get the proper fit for the financial aspect. Making sure that the residents get the best care that they can get. Staff is doing what they've been taught to do, and I guess just the home-like environment is kind of what we really want to portray.
So we're back. The interesting thing she talked about is the nursing home that we have in Arlington, who happens to be the nursing home I'm the medical director for which I am the medical director. And what a joy it has been to be the medical director for these many years. And I'm retiring from that medical directorship. Last nursing home rounds in December, and I'm sad about it. But we have some really good options as far as what's going to, and there are other doctors interested in doing that, and it makes me happy. Well, let's talk about picking a nursing home. So it is time, and your parent is going to need rehabilitation, possibly a long-term stay, and it isn't going to be the assisted living. Of course, we can talk about what is the first place you can go to that's not an assisted living, but it's a kind of a place where people can live, and they have but they have one meal common a day. Like
congregate living, maybe?
Yes, congregate living. That's a good option for many people to start. Any comments about congregate?
Well, I think, basically you can find apartments that are, sort of 55 and above
right.
Only, and so there's lots of different variations on the theme and of what's included and that. So some might include a meal every day. Some might be just like an apartment building that just happens to be people that are older. Some of them will have arrangements that you can contract for extra services to come in if you need it, but it's kind of a la carte menu.
So, and then if you advance to assisted living, they help you with your medicines. That's the big jump, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anything about that? Assisted living, I think a wonderful social place. Many people functioning there, and it's just a good place to play cards. And
yeah, and I think that most assisted livings have a more formal support environment, so they have more structured services like helping with medications is the big one. A more formal helping with maybe bathing, or if there's other maybe some house cleaning kinds of things that are needed, they'll often provide some assistance with those things.
My mom was in an assisted living for maybe 5. She was in a nice apartment, and then little stroke, harder, assisted living. Lived there for like 5 years. And then finally the assisted living director called me and said, Rick, we just can't keep her here any longer. She just needs more. And of course my mom resisted it tremendously, but she did great when she was there. Same story each time. Resisted hugely, loss of independence. Oh, here's some new friends. Oh, I can play bridge with my friend. And it got her right through 92. It was just a wonderful experience. So, but I knew the nursing homes in Brookings and the assisted living. I used all of them. I had access to everyone. But finally she's in a nursing home, and many people need to know what to look for in a nursing home. So how would a caregiver explore options, Lori?
Well, I think one of the easiest ways, not the only way, but you could start looking at Nursing Home Compare online.
Oh, it's nursinghomecompare.com.
Yeah, if you Google Nursing Home Compare, or it's www.medicare.gov/Nursing Home Compare. That'll get you there. And that has, it's online, and it has all the information about a nursing home in every state. And so
really?
you just
every
nursing home, and you're going to be able to know how many beds they have. You're going to know where their quality measure ratings are. They have a star rating, 1 through 5, and they talk about. You can read their survey report for the last 3 years. And
will it give cost?
I don't think so.
So you have to go to the place to find cost.
And you would want to. You wouldn't want to just base your thoughts solely on
an internet site.
Yes, I mean this is by the government, but you
need to be in that.
It can start. It starts you out, and it has some good information. They just added something new. If a nursing home had been cited for abuse. There's a little icon now on the site, a little circle with a little red hand.
There's been an experience of abuse in this place.
But at that point, you need to go to that nursing home and ask them about it. They probably have it all fixed, hopefully.
Yeah.
But that's where you ask about them.
Yeah, I agree that that's a great place to start, because it really helps you understand what questions you want to ask when you go to visit the nursing home. I think that that choosing a nursing home is a little bit similar to how you might look at a lot of different houses before you decide which one you want to buy. There might be 10 different houses that you look at that all pass inspection.
Yeah.
They all are technically a safe and fine place to live. Yeah. But usually you get you visit the house that you want to buy, and you just feel good there.
Yeah. It's a sense. It's almost a soul thing rather than.
I think so, and a big part of it, I think, has to do with the people that work there and how much do they like their job, and do you feel like they care about you, and ask them.
Do you like working here?
Yeah.
So one of the things that in this town we have a nursing home that has not only birds, because most of them will have birds, but they have cats and dogs, and they have a daycare center running in their nursing home. The kids are around every day. Then and of course there's a risk of influenza and infection from kids, but it's well worth it to many people to choose a place to see that. And then there's, like Winona State has these college kids. There's apparently a nursing home that rents some of their extra beds and space to the college kids to hang and eat with the people who live in that assisted living or nursing home. And the kids can also work off some of the cost of the lower price of their rent. So by volunteering and doing things there. So there are a lot of options. You really need to look at it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the hardest issue, and we've got like 2 minutes to talk about cost. We've lost some nursing homes in this state because their Medicaid reimbursement in South Dakota is so bad. They lose money on every Medicaid patient, and 60% of the patients are Medicaid, and we have a minute and a half. You know, throw that at you, Victoria.
Well, every state has responsibility to decide what Medicaid will cover, who will be covered by Medicaid, and what the rates will be. And so South Dakota has made some progress towards increasing their rates for nursing homes because they recognized that we were losing rural nursing homes. But
it's
that's
a little bit of a splash of water in the ocean. We've got a 1 minute. Lori, any comment about that?
Well, we just got notice that we lost another nursing home closed as of November 1st.
Where was that?
Hudson.
So it's these little towns. Well, and we've lost 2 in
Big
Sioux
ones,
Falls.
yeah.
I mean, it's
just,
everywhere.
They can't make it.
On Medicaid, what we're getting.
Yeah.
And of course, in little towns, it's their major industry.
Yeah.
Come on, legislature, expand Medicaid.
Yeah.
Do you agree with expanding Medicaid?
I think there's a good argument to be made for expanding Medicaid.
And you're in agreement too. Well, final words. I've got 10 seconds each. Any comments that you'd like to say, Victoria?
You know, just that there are a lot of wonderful people that are so dedicated working in nursing homes, and I think that they just are unsung heroes, and I think it's really important to just recognize how much they give of themselves.
They really do. Yeah. Lori,
I was going to say the exact same thing. I've just met so many beautiful, wonderful people that care about our loved ones.
And thank you for the caring that you do provide, you too. And now for the answer to tonight's Prairie Doc quiz question. Pick the best answer. When living in on private funds, the cost of basic care without any frills, when medicines delivered, the cost of basic care in a long-term nursing home is $300 a day, $500 a day, $700 a day. And of course, the costs can vary according to the state, the community, and the facility, but the best answer is $300 a day. We'll be right back after this.
For nearly 2 decades, the Prairie Doc organization has endeavored to enhance health and diminish suffering by providing useful information based on honest science in a respectful and compassionate manner. Health professionals volunteer to answer your questions each week, creating a vast Prairie Doc library of medical information available to you and your family 24 hours a day. Make sure you don't miss a thing. Follow the Prairie Doc on Facebook and YouTube for free and easy access to the entire Prairie Doc library.
I have observed many people reaching the end of their lives during my practice. Truth is, it's a mixed picture. The 2 patient stories I describe here are really a blend of hundreds of experiences. Mrs. A is in her late 80s, walks 2 miles every day, mostly outside, but inside a wellness center when sidewalks are icy. She eats a balanced, light diet and is connected to many friends. Mrs. A is spiritually connected, and life has been and continues to be meaningful to her. Mrs. B is also in her late 80s, has never been much for exercise, and now is unable to walk without the help of her walker. She lives in an assisted living center and has made some friends there, but remains rather critical of them. She asks her kids whenever they visit to take her home. Mrs. B has had some tough and some happy times during her life, but now she remains rather bitter. At age 82, comedian Rodney Dangerfield, who had studied the relationship between sexuality and longevity, said, "I'm at the age where food has taken the place of sex in my life. In fact, I've just had a mirror put over my kitchen table." Reading that made me laugh out loud, but I see Dangerfield's comment as both funny and sad. Indeed, this thing called growing old is a mixed picture. Should we celebrate it or fear it? Does it give us wisdom and meaning, or just aches and pains? I suggest we embrace both sides of the picture. Let's choose to live as long and as well as our luck and genetics allows. We would all do better with regular exercise, eating less, connecting with the earthly and the spiritual. Let's also choose to kindly accept the fact that someday we will reach the end of our lives. We can take healthy steps by creating an advance directive, understanding the kinds and causes of dementia, and facing the inevitable death of the ones we love. Embracing the mixed picture allows accepting processes we cannot change, avoiding suffering that could happen, and savoring the things that matter. Bottom line lessons from Mrs. A and B. Like any piece of art, we can choose how we view the mixed picture of our own aging landscape. Those who live with misery, anger, and vengefulness will likely die that way. Those who glean meaning and joy from observation, giving to others, and opening our hearts to the spiritual will find aging a grand masterpiece. A big thank you to our guests, Lori and Victoria. Thank you so much for volunteering to come to our studio at Yeager Hall on the campus of South Dakota State University and add their experience and knowledge to our discussion tonight. If you'd like more information about this program or see more episodes, please like and follow us on Facebook or visit us at prairiedoc.org. Well, that does it for tonight. From all of us here at On Call with the Prairie Doc, until next time, stay healthy out there, people.
All of us want our family, neighbors, and friends to have the ability to make appropriate decisions about their health care. To do so, they need access to information from reliable sources like Dr. Holm and his guest physicians. Hello, I'm Stephanie Herseth-Sandlin, and I serve on the volunteer board of directors of the Healing Words Foundation, a 501c3 organization established to support the work of the Prairie Docs. With your charitable donation, you can help the foundation continue to offer free and easy access to the entire library of Prairie Doc health education programs. This mission is so very important to rural communities and residents in particular, across South Dakota and neighboring states. Please consider a personal or corporate gift. Just go to prairiedoc.org to find more information on how you can help. Thank you.
Major funding for On Call with the Prairie Doc has been provided by
Avera is a proud sponsor of On Call with the Prairie Doc on South Dakota Public Broadcasting. Larson Manufacturing is proud to support On Call with the Prairie Doc as it continues to open doors for important medical information.
And by the South Dakota Foundation for Medical Care, the Medicare Quality Improvement Organization for South Dakota,
and with the ongoing support of these individuals and institutions.
Brookings Health System,
Ophthalmology Limited,
Avera Heart Hospital,
Dakota Allergy and Asthma,
Fishback Financial Corporation,
Vance Thompson Vision,
Urology Specialists,
Brown Clinic,
American Academy of Family Physicians Foundation and South Dakota Academy of Family Physicians.
Black Hills Medical Society.
Aberdeen District Medical Society.
Brookings, Madison, Flandreau District Medical Society.
Sioux Falls District Medical Society.
Dakota Bank.
Orthopedic Institute.
Physicians Care Sanford Clinic Community Services Committee.
Aberdeen Asthma and Allergy.
And Swiftel Communications.